This is Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance in Long Beach today, and we are joined by a member of the Board of Trustees with the Long Beach Community College District. His name is Jeff Kellogg. We thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
I want to speak with you about funding with community colleges. We've known each other for a long time, and we have seen boom and bust with regard to community college funding. Right now, we're in a pretty good cycle.
Yes,
Governor Brown is very clear he is supportive of K-14 funding. Give us a sense of how that plays out day in and day out for the community college district.
Well, in my 15 years, I've gone through a lot of
Right.
cycles.
Yes.
And you are correct. Governor Brown has been very good to community colleges.
Right.
And even with the, we know that in preparation for Proposition 13 that the voters supported.
30?
That is going to, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
30.
Right.
Probably 13, no.
Right.
And so we are anticipating that that's going to be a change. Also, though.
But let me hit on that though, because Prop 30 has brought in a nice chunk of change.
It has.
For K-12, K-14. And it will expire, at least the sales tax portion, in November of 2016. The governor said he is not interested in extending it. I mean, someone else could put it on the ballot in 2016, and it could be extended, but let us presume that it will expire, at least that sales tax portion.
And we are anticipating in our budget that will go away.
So, but given the improving economy, will you see a net reduction, or could it equal out?
We are anticipating at Long Beach City College,
Right.
we're looking at a reduction simply because we are beginning to see that the economy may slow down.
Oh, really?
And when we're doing budget projections, we are looking years in advance, which some people think about, and we have to. That's how we have to plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it has been nice to sit in the budget proceedings that the topic is not what are we going to have to cut.
Right.
And that's actually enjoyable because we've gone through some very difficult times.
But as part of this boom in funding for community colleges, we have seen growth, so, targeted growth in terms of the number of seats at the community college level, 3% this year. So if all of a sudden some of that money goes away, are you able to accommodate the more students you have on campus?
It's interesting, but that's why you're somewhat very conservative on how you're doing your budget projections. You don't go suddenly and say, well, let's just spend it and do everything we can. A lot of the funding, too, by the way, is going to be on one-time funding expenditures, things of that nature.
I see.
So it's the budgeting it's not a complete science or an art.
Right.
It's a
and you're in
combination of the
budgeting
two.
right now, is that right?
Yes, we are.
For next year?
next year.
So you're in the midst of it right now.
We are, and because many people don't realize there's so many different, and it's probably confusing to a lot of people, and I understand that, but
Right.
you look at things when it is introduced, the budget's introduced, the funding for, in our particular case, the community colleges, then it goes through a lot of revisions with the legislature, then the budget is then presented by the governor, which may have some changes, then it goes through other revisions.
Right, of course.
And then it's finally finalized. Well, that's all great, but we're going through an academic year at the same
course.
time, so we really, as I one time referred to it, it's like juggling chainsaws.
Literally.
Yeah.
So you're being conservative as it relates to student growth. What about sections and classes? Because we know during the recession, so many sections were cut. Do you anticipate having to do that if Prop 30 goes away?
No, because we've anticipated, we've been very conservative in our approach. Also, what's interesting is on our curriculum for Long Beach City College is that you have to think about what is going to be the needs of the students, whether it be for transfers, how we can better get students transferring, because one of our goals at the college is to have our students have a shorter time, not that we don't enjoy their presence on our campus, but we want them to we want to have what I traditionally remember as a 2-year community college.
I want to ask you about transfer, because Long Beach City is considered a model when you consider its relations to its sister institutions, LBUSD and Cal State Long Beach.
Right.
There's the Long Beach Promise, where you see a somewhat seamless transition between those three institutions. But I recently spoke with the president of CSULB, Jen Connolly, and you know as well as I and she, Long Beach State is now one of the hottest institutions in terms of applications in the country.
Yeah.
Top 5 in the country, with UCLA and Harvard and all that. And so she had mentioned to me that last year, 24,000 admittable students were not admitted. Now, admittedly, Long Beach gets preference,
Right.
But
if they don't, there actually is a backup plan on the College Promise, is that if they don't get to choose Long Beach, they then have another alternative. The point is they are going to college. They're
so
going to
where
go to
are you, because it's been, look, I mean, success is tough. It's been wildly successful, the Long Beach Promise. I mean, is it time, given the success of Long Beach State, to talk to Dominguez Hills, to talk to Fullerton, to talk to LA?
Well, we actually with agreement with Dominguez Hills.
Oh, you do?
That we do. And so we are actually doing things of that nature. And when you talk about the success of the College Promise, our Superintendent, President Oakley, was just this week back in Michigan at a community college with the president, who is rolling out the nationwide initiative for the College Promise. Same concept, seamless education, having a track for students to complete their college education in a timely manner. So,
but let me ask you about the president and his plan. Vice President Biden was there, as I understand, as well. They're really looking at trying to create a formula whereby community college could be free. I mean, that's the formula that they're looking at.
Yeah,
and it was free in our lifetime, was it not?
In California.
In California. Did you go here for free? Are you old enough?
Yes, I am. Thank you, taxpayers. Exactly. Long Beach. I was one of those free students that got my. And in Long Beach, by the way, the people the first semester, if they go through with our summer program, it was always the first semester of their year, and now we're extending that to the first year.
So LBUSD students go to LBCC for free.
They go for free. They're part of the program for the first semester. We're going to expand that into the first year.
But is that because of an endowment, because of outside generosity?
That's exactly right. We have a very strong foundation. We last year awarded, not we, the foundation awarded $1.5 million in scholarships.
So that's a model that's working. I know Cuesta College in San Luis Obispo has something similar where they'll take their local students and give them a free semester or year. But what the president's proposing is beyond that.
It's much broader, and it's actually what the initiative is. Martha Cantor, who used to be an educator here in California.
Oh, really?
She's going to be heading that initiative, as well as actually Eli Oakley is going to be part of that.
Oh, really? So Eli Oakley being the superintendent here at LBCC.
And he's part of the planning process for it. That's going to be, we'll see how it develops, but as we say, anytime you talk about higher education in general and community colleges and the role community colleges play, not just in California, but in this country, is all positive.
At some level, it begs the questions. I mean, our friends in Germany, they're offering free college education outright for your institutions.
Well, there's interesting, at one time there was a debate in this country about whether high schools, and this goes back way before you and I, but there was a debate about whether high schools should be free or not in the history of this country.
I'm not aware of that.
A long time ago, so don't feel bad. None of us were roaming the land at that time, I think. But it is higher education and what is or isn't working. And we have challenges in California with education, how we're going to do. But overall, it's remarkable what we've done, and I'm talking about the community colleges.
I mean, a country that was completely decimated 70 years ago is now offering every single one of its residents, and even some non-residents, a free college education.
And we in California do that with some people that are, whether you're a legal resident of the state or not, we take care of, and that's part of the DREAM Act.
But not free. It's not free for everyone?
Not for everyone, but that is really our goal, is to make it as inexpensive as possible in Long Beach. And how I try, because again, Long Beach Community College is part of a network in the state of California, 72 districts, 113 colleges. So in my world, in politics, if I can make Long Beach better and it can be copied by others, I think I've done a good job.
What about trying to extend your free tuition to a second year?
Well, it comes down to funding, and that's our goal, is to make it as inexpensive. I mean, the fact that when we started this with the first semester for certain students, but and that is just part of the whole puzzle. The other one is, as I started to say, with the time frame. You should not be at a community college for 5, 6, 7 years.
Well, hopefully, with the new emphasis on student success, that number will be decreased. During the recession, it became very difficult to decrease it because sections were cut. But thanks for joining us. I want you to come back if you can.
I always will.
His name is Jeff Kellogg. He is a trustee with the Long Beach Community College District. I'm Brad Pomerance, and this is Charter Local Edition.